Welcome to another editor tutorial episode. Today we're looking at NPCs. We'll add a treasury guard. Let's pan with the camera down to the sword. In Add Entities we find the NPC. As you can see, it can be a man or a woman, though you can change that in the properties later. So let's add him in and look at his properties. It looks like something between an entity and a player role. There's also a preview, equipment, and inventory, which we'll look into right now. But first we'll rename him into Temple Guard. So, here we have some HP, which we'll leave as they are, but we'll untick the indestructible option so we can defeat him in-game. Here we have the equipment. That is set up the same like player role. We'll give him the temple armor from Add Entity. We'll click and click here where I want it to be equipped. The equipment he has on him, if it's armor, will give him some resists. He'll have these always according to what he has, if he's an NPC. If he would be an animal, we'd set it directly in properties. If we wanted to change it, then again, as we've done it with player role. If we double click the item, we'll see that we can change the resistances. We'll also give him the sickle sword, and the NPC will deal damage according to the sickle sword. If we want to change it, again, we can in the sword's properties. Then we also have appearance. If we want to change appearance, it's very similar as to how we set up our own avatar in the profile. You have skin tone here, hair, all kind of options you can also randomize, but we won't really see the difference since we have the armor on. Let's leave it as it is. You can also choose the NPC to drop items upon death. As you know, a player will drop all his items upon death. If you want this to happen to the NPC as well, then you'll want to tick this. But we don't want this, so we'll leave it as it is. There's also a health bar here. We can set it that the health bar will show over the NPC and thus the player will know how much HP they have left. We have a few options, either that it won't be there, or it will be there all the time, or finally that it will appear only when the NPC gets injured. We'll leave it at never show. Then we can also set some text that will then be above the entity. It can be a name or anything else you'd want to specify. We'll leave it empty. You can also set the color of the text. The important thing here is the AI behavior. We can specify this. We set it in another game logic, which we'll add and then choose. So here in the entities, we'll find AI behavior, and here it is at the top. Let's put it next to him. In the Temple Guard's properties, we'll choose the AI behavior that we just put here. In the AI behavior, we'll set up how the NPC will behave. If he's aggressive, he can run away, ignore the player, or just not be aggressive. We'll set that he'll ignore the player at the beginning. Then we have a detection radius here, which is the distance at which the NPC notices the player. Let's leave it at 15. The behavior type sets up what the NPC actually does. Stand means he'll stand. Patrol, if we pick it, we can set that the NPC will walk between reference points, the same as in animators. But here he'll just walk like he'd be customly animated. We can choose if it will be in any order or in a random ping-pong pattern, which we know from animations that is back and forward. Let's leave it on stand. There's also the loiter option that will create a zone in which the NPC will pace. The radius and shape will be set up the same as in a trigger zone. Now we'll duplicate the Temple Guard and his AI behavior, and we'll move the duplicate on the other side of the sword. As you can see, the reference copied also. So each Temple Guard has its own AI behavior. And that will be all for today's episode. Next time we'll look at some labels and how we can switch these temple guards into aggressive mode in-game. But, until then, stay classy, Islanders.